Yo, good morning. It's Guido coming at you with the coffee talk. I am on the left side of the Atlantic and I've got my nice Sumatra roast.
That is Pilgrim from the correct side of the Atlantic with his Royal Blend tea in his old Guido mug that's not chipped.
Do you like our
Old
new
new.
coffee shop?
What?
Do you like our new coffee shop, our new digs?
Oh, yes. No, actually, I do like that. Sorry.
Yeah, I just had it built.
I've just noticed it. Sorry, out the corner of my eye. Look, look, look. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's actually, it's fine. It's a commissioned officer type thing, but it's fine.
Oh, I have left the chat over you. Maybe I'll just leave it there. Let's move the chat.
Is that intentional?
No, I don't know. Actually, the problem is that it's all white text, so maybe that's going to have to be looked at. I'm going to have to change the font. But this is why we do this.
It is.
This is why we do
never
this.
rehearsed anything.
No. So I'm going to have to figure that one out.
Chat just scrolling over my face like that, was it?
Well, it needs a background that's readable because now it's going over the menu items. You know, it's
No, you
chatting
see,
over the
it's
menu.
dark and something.
Yeah. Well, anyway, work in progress. So,
Try
this,
that. Put it on that. How about that? Will that work if it's on
yeah,
that?
hold. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say hold it up, but it goes off camera, so it's not gonna work. Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing? This is Coffee Talk, the world's number one World of Tanks and whatnot coffee talk in the 0700 Central time slot. Slash, what is it over there?
It's
1200?
it's Greenwich Mean Time, the real time.
Are you
'cause
1200?
well, over here it's 1300 hours.
Oh,
Sir.
1300 hours. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
which is real time. It's not your made-up time that we've given to you people. This is the real time. You people have got your made-up times. You do whatever it is, you know.
I like Wayne, number one stream in the world on Sunday that I'm watching. There you go. It's all
It's all
about us. It's about us. It's about you. It's about me.
It is.
That's what it's all
It
about. We
is.
got a lot to talk about today, actually.
Tons.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not much going on in World of Tanks, though, right?
Nah, nothing
Nah,
happening.
nothing's happened. Nothing's happened recently in World of Tanks, has it?
It's all the same to me. I
Yeah.
get up every morning, and nothing changes.
Nothing to see here.
Dear, oh dear.
Just around midnight. Just around midnight. Oh boy.
Yeah. We'll leave that one right there.
I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Nope.
Yours or mine. Never mind.
I don't have a 10-foot pole, apparently.
Well, that went off the rails quick.
It did, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm blaming Midnight for that one, though.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a stickler. Exactly. Correct, sir. Correct, sir. All right. All right, what's going on the channel? Let's see. 100 Battle Challenge is ongoing. Ooh, time to brag. Now, watch the transition, folks. Watch what we're doing here. Ooh.
Wow. Wow.
I've learned something. I finally learned something new with OBS. I knew this was all possible. I just hadn't messed around with magic.
Yeah.
All right, let's brag. Let's have a little bit of I don't know, what do you call it?
Self-congratulation.
Yes, thank you. Some pat myself on the back.
Yeah.
False modesty, that kind of stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But we
I
always
don't mean to brag, but look at what I've done.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have. There we go. So the 100 Battle Challenge. I finished the Skoda, the AMX. I'm working on the T78. I finished the UDES, and I just like to play the Manticore. But I'm number 2 with the Skoda T40 this month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
That was mentioned. That was mentioned.
Yeah,
in
somebody
High
mentioned
Play.
that.
Was. Yeah.
The AMX CDA, I got to 12th, even though I don't particularly like casemates. Doing okay with the T78 13th. This is really a good tank, guys.
Yes, it is.
It's
I like it.
very Hellcat-like, and maybe even a little better, dare I say, than the Hellcat, maybe. But people probably argue. This is the one that surprised me. I'm 24th with the UDES for the month, and I hated it,
Okay.
and my win rate was ridiculous. In fact, it's in the 40s. Where am I? I got to go down here where I live. 38.89% win rate.
Wow. And yet, you continue to press to get the 100 battles done.
I get it. I just can't. We talked about it last week, and I don't want to go over it too much, but I don't get it. I don't know what I did wrong with that tank. Manticore, 38th. I wish I was doing better. 58th in the T50-2. I finished that. And here's the old Su-8 that I am trying to get to 100 battles. Plus, I was doing research for the Arctic changes, which we'll get into later. Did pretty well in the 3001. I need 5 more battles, but that would put me at second, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
If provided I could continue for 5 more battles, so who knows. Anyway, that's the update on 100 Battle Challenge. Skoda, CDA, close on the T78, almost done. UDES, and were any of these others? And T50-2. So not bad. That surprises me a little bit, but look at the scores of this thing. 6,000, 5,900.
I know, isn't it absolutely crazy? It's an outlier of a tank, I truly think.
Yeah.
You know, it is. It is one of those oddities in the game.
Stickler has the cactus camo. I didn't even know it had cactus camo.
No, they didn't. I've got the US the federal flag or whatever it is.
That's what mine is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can get. We'll get to it in a minute. But if you're a Verizon customer, you can get a free T78. We'll get to that in just a minute.
Sparky's in the house.
Sparky, what's happening? Good morning to everybody. All right, what else we got going? So 100 Battle Challenge on. I actually spent some money in the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, actual real money?
Yeah, actual money. I haven't actually paid for some, other than gifts for people. Not gifts, but prizes.
Okay. What gaming cut you out of their percentages right now, have they?
Yeah, I'm on my own now.
Oh,
But
wow.
I got 25,000 gold because I had a 30% coupon.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that was a good deal. It's not Christmas good deal, but that's as good a deal as you're going to get off of gold. And it was applicable to gold, so I got the $100 package. So for $70, I got 25,000 gold, which was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. So that was cool. It was the hard sell though, because I was thinking about redoing a crew, and my gold was down to like 1,600.
Right.
And I went, well, I can't redo this crew because I don't have a lot of gold. And I thought, well, what are you going to do? Sit on 1,600 and not do a single thing with crew until Christmas? So you need something to bridge the gap. And then I looked at it, and all of a sudden I said, oh, I have a coupon. I clicked on it, like 30%, but it said 1 day.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Get it done now or lose
So
it.
they got me. God
Yeah, they
dang
got
it. They got me. They got me with that timer thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can see it clicking down as well. It's quite naughty. And
Yeah.
down.
It clicked down
Yeah.
to 23 hours. I'm like, oh, son of a...
The thing is
Dadgummit.
with that, it works on me because if I don't do it there and then, I forget about it, and then 2 days later, I've lost it because I forget that I got it, and so I don't go back to it. So if I see it, I go, oh, I've got to do something right now because I'll wake up in the morning, I won't even know my own name. I'm of an age, you see.
You're just like, I'm alive.
Yeah, Phew, I'm still breathing. Woohoo! I've got through another night safely.
Gonna be a good day. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I haven't, Stickler. I put it on... I did, one tank. I put it on my Manicore. And the one game I played, I didn't get shot at. So, by Artie anyway. I was actually curious if it went off every time Artie fired. And I realized that's silly, but apparently it has to be near you, coming at you kind of thing.
Okay. But, I mean, you don't get 10 seconds warning, do you? You only get a couple of seconds. Is that
I don't
right?
know. I don't know yet. Because
it's not happened.
we should jump in a training room, actually. I need to get somebody to jump in a training room and figure that out.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, just to figure out how long you get.
Yeah.
Because is it worth redoing all your skills just to get that one on? That's a question that Sticklers.
I think so. I think so.
Do you think?
Yeah. I think it is.
Okay.
Well, Stickler says it's kind of worthless, so maybe he's got some SA on it. I would have assumed it would have been pretty good, but I don't know. Maybe it's bad. So I did. The real answer to Stickler's question is I did not run out and rework all my crews. No.
No. But because it's a gold cost anyway. So if the gold cost is worth doing it for maybe the light tanks, perhaps. I mean, you're pretty much certain if you're in a heavy, you're going to get artied anyway. So it's pointless having a detection thing because you know it's going to happen. Maybe mediums and lights, possibly, would be worth. But that's a lot of gold. If you've got 500 tanks, that's a lot of gold.
Tens of thousands, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, on one-offs, we'll see. Cliffy's got some experience with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Artie is a nuisance. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We're definitely going to talk about those changes because that has significantly kicked Artie in the jimmy. Whether you think that's good or bad is neither here nor there. But the fact is, it is pretty well neutered.
Yeah.
Pretty well neutered. Let's see. Next stream will be Monday Stack Up, and then Friday. So my next day off is Friday. As always, there may be a pop-up somewhere in between. So watch out for that. I still have coaching available if you want that. I've probably, I think 7 people or so. I've had 7 or 8 sessions at this point.
Cool. That's cool.
So that's been
I'm off on Friday as well. So if you want me to join you on stream, I can do.
no,
Because I start my vacation on Friday, which is cool.
no, nobody wants that.
No, nobody wants. I could be the fall guy for.
If I said no, would it matter?
Always.
You're just gonna come in the door anyway.
I am gonna kick down the back door,
Yeah.
and walk in, and go,
You are
"I'm
that.
here."
Yeah, you're that neighbor.
Keep borrowing the lawnmower and then
The
bring it
one
back.
that walks through the door, you hear, but they're already in your house.
Yeah.
Like,
Is
hey,
the cat? Is the cat on?
oh man, we got a great neighbor like that. She's amazing, really cool, great neighbor. So standard, she can just come over and borrow whatever she needs, and
Yeah.
my wife does the same thing over there. She's always got wine, so it's perfect.
Well, I mean, there's the deciding factor, especially when it's a lady, isn't it? If the wine's flowing, it's fine.
Oh yeah. All right, so the podcast, I put it on Buzzsprout for 2 weeks. What I'm not really sure of what's going on with that is apparently because I'm using the free version. It says you're limited to a couple hours, but I have 2 on there, and they're well past the 2 hours. I'm going to try to upload this week's too and just keep pressing and see what happens. I might have some kind of free month or something going on that I'm not aware of here. So we'll take a look at that because they want me to pay them to increase my upload, and they do it by hours.
Is that 2 hours complete or 2 hours per podcast or?
Good question. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe you've cracked the code. It's very possible you've just cracked the code. My
see.
assumption was it was 2 hours total, but maybe it's 2 hours per podcast. I don't know. Anyway, I'll keep uploading. I know a couple of you guys have said you liked it, so I'll keep putting that up there. Let me know if you got any feedback on that. It's pure audio. I think last week I talked about it. I thought it was video. It's just audio, which is cool. So it's easier to download if you're in your car using the cell network or whatever you're doing, or save it. I think you can actually save it to a device and then listen to it in your car. So it'll be much less. It won't be a smaller file size with just audio, which is perfect.
Right. As a tangent, you call things cell phones, don't you? We call them mobile phones, don't we?
Yeah.
Which is always a bone of contention between our 2 countries, to the point that it's been discussed at high levels. Is that it's a mobile phone, it's not a cell phone. Although it connects to a cell, we get all that, but it's actually called a mobile phone. I mean, who invented the mobile phones? We did. So you really need to follow suit. Stop calling.
Wait,
it
hold
cell
on.
phone.
What? Who invented mobile phones?
Well, the British did. The British invented everything. You know this, Guido. I've told you so many times. There is nothing that hasn't been invented by a Brit. You name one thing, I'll tell you. I'll tell you when and how and who. So you can't think of anything, can you?
I don't know. I don't even want to go down that road.
No, Marconi was British.
Marconi?
Yeah, Marconi was British. He was a naturalised British guy. He might have had an Italian name.
Unnaturalized, yeah.
Yes.
We were running around the 1980s with our mobile phones, which were hardly mobile, other than the fact that you could put them in a car and they worked without a wire. While you guys were still trying to figure out dentistry.
My teeth are fine, sir, thank you. And they're all mine, but well, apart from that one there. But yeah, most of them are mine.
Yeah. You guys were still repairing bomb craters from World War II, and we were running around with cell phones.
Yeah, but then at least you gypped us on then. At least you stopped giving it us after the war. That was rotten of you. Like, we would have had our bomb holes fixed if it wasn't for you lot with all your dollars.
I just watched a video on that on the Sherman and the T-34, and he talked a lot about like just how many of those were built, and then the various wars that those types fought in after World War II, because there was so much surplus.
All right.
The Russians and us both sold them to all kinds of different people that needed to
Wow.
upgrade tanks right after World War II. They talked a lot about the Israeli Sherman variants and some of the South American ones, and India and Pakistan. That was crazy.
Isn't that interesting? Because you would obviously there was thousands and thousands and thousands of T-34 variants out there and Shermans and so on. You would have thought they would have all been scrapped, melted down, and
A
made
good portion
clamshells.
of them were, but they
Right.
sold a bunch of them too.
Yeah.
A good portion of them were
Cool.
melted down and turned into Chevrolets,
Wow.
I guess.
Chevrolet.
Turned into Chevrolets and Buicks. And
Didn't Ford pick any up then?
Martin Cooper from Motorola invented mobile phones.
Why
My dad
you say
sold. My dad sold. He had an electronics business, and he sold some of the earliest ones, and we installed those, and they had a great big box, which was I guess the receiver and the control head, and just shit tons of wires, and of course the phone was just a regular phone. Like, remember that's how inventive we were. We just put a regular phone with the curly wire and everything attached to the control head, and then the wires back to the box that was either in the trunk or underneath the seat or something. And then it had an antenna. They got
Brilliant.
smaller as you went, but the first ones were massive. And then there was the ones that were in a briefcase.
Right. Yeah.
So there was kind of the mobile phone that was a car phone, but it wasn't. It was
Yeah.
mobile in that your car went somewhere, but you couldn't take it out of your car. Then they had the suitcase mobile phone. It was about the
Yeah.
size of a suitcase, and then they had just these big bricks. That was the next
That was the
iteration.
First phone, it was a
Yeah.
brick with an area you pulled
Yep.
out the top, like a walkie-talkie,
Yep.
like GI Joe's walkie-talkie. It was.
Yeah, and the batteries were
Yeah.
good for about 8.7 minutes.
Yeah. And you'd still walk down the street going, "Hello, hello!" Everybody's looking at you. "Hello,
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
can you
now?
hear me?"
71 AMC, how are you, man?
Hey ho.
All right. I think that's it for channel news. Let's move on to missions and specials. Shall we? Shall we shill?
We need to.
Yeah, we should chill. Hold on for the transition. Ooh, all right.
Oh, has it worked?
It did.
Ooh.
We're over the world of tanks again. I need to modify that so I can do my Chrome
Yeah.
shilling thing on the other page, but for now we're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Time to show. Premium shop. There's a couple of cool things in here, actually. T22 is for sale.
Indeed.
So I think this is the first time it's been sold since the Year of the Ox thing, earlier in
Yeah.
the year, right? So it's back. Multiple packages. The basic one at $41. The 1357, killer little thing. Great little scout, also for sale. The Object 244, don't really recommend it. Mutant, kind of a meme machine, really, but also okay. Now, you said there were some strange packages in here, so to speak. Now, which ones are we talking about?
Right. We'll go to the. Let me
Specials?
just check. Yeah, it might be in the gold section. Hang on. No. Why is it gone? Why?
Yeah, they got you.
Hang on.
They tricked you.
Hang on. They did trick me. What's happened there?
Well, there's
Wow.
there's the sergeant's pay, major's pay, yada yada,
Right,
and
where's
that
that?
is
Specials.
right here. So you got sergeant's pay, warrant officers, major's pay, and
Well,
lieutenant's
you
pay.
wouldn't believe it, Guido. It's gone off my shop. It was there this morning. That's why I saw it. But now it's gone from the shop.
Well, there is this
my-
national treasure
Yeah.
and large set
Right.
of supplies.
Right. That's what I see. Do you see? Look at the one you're on now. That
Uh-huh.
one. So what price is that?
$64,
And what do you get?
10,000 gold, 4,000 credit, and some missions and reserves.
Some missions for consumables, and then scroll down and do the whatever it is, the sergeants, majors, whatever it is, the equivalent.
There it is.
And
Lieutenant's pay.
Yeah, yeah, and you get gold and silver, but for more money. So you don't get the consumables. Wow. Really?
Yeah, good catch. That's what he's talking about, guys. So you've got the lieutenant's pay at 65 with just the gold and the credits, but if you're smarter than a lieutenant, then you come up here and you get the large set of supplies. Naturally, you send your sergeant over to the supply depot, and he gets you
Yep.
more stuff.
He
So,
goes to the quartermaster's store and he gets you lots more stuff.
and
There you go for the same money.
and when you ask him about it, you're like, I thought the 10,000 gold and 4,000 credits was $65, and he says, I guess the missions just fell off the truck.
Yeah, we found them.
I found them. Yeah, they fell off a truck. They were in the ditch.
Oh dear. Well, here we go. Here's a tangent straight off now. Straight off tangent, right?
Yeah.
When I was out in Bosnia, we had a deal with Mečević. There was a US supply depot in Mečević, which contained a shit ton of US military clothing, boots, everything. Not for the troops, but to give out to the refugees and everything. But the UN stopped it because it looked like you were arming the local Bosnian Croats or whatever it was, because they were all walking around in US Army kit.
U.S. stuff.
So the UN
Yeah.
went, you can't do that, right? So they had all this warehouses full of all this stuff. And of course, you guys loved our rations at that point because the MRE's, meals rejected by Ethiopians,
Yeah.
were not that good. So I did some fantastic deals. I went down to Mečević with a Bedford truck, a huge truck, full of rations, and I swapped it for about 300 pairs of jungle boots and about 500 sets of DPMs, which I then duly gave out to all the troops, including my commanding officer. He was quite happy to knock around in jungle boots, So yeah, it was a fair old deal, that was, I can tell you. It was
Yeah.
better than Pilgronomics.
That's the finest tradition, man. Especially when you have contingency ops, stuff just comes and goes, and
Yeah.
they're not really tracking it very well. All right, for
Anyway,
vehicles,
sorry, we're to shilling.
T103, Rom Panzer. Yeah, so we got to make our money, Pilgrim. We can't go off on tangents while we're making money here.
No,
Yeah.
I'll shut up now.
3045 Rudy. I think these two you all should see. These exclusives, I believe, are Prime Gaming things. Centurion. We still have these two big packages here. What else we got? The Suma, again, exclusive, so you're probably not seeing a lot of these, and then the standard stuff for sale. And that's it, guys. There's not a whole lot going on as far as sales go. What else we got? Okay, the code is Swede Snipa. SWEDE Swede Snipa. And that will get you, I believe, an S1 rental, some boosters, and cola or some such thing. All right, people, I've talked about it. This is a really good deal. Go to this article. You're going to get a T78. Oh, by the way, I tested this because I am a Verizon customer. If you have the style and the tank, it's worth 4,800 gold.
Okay.
So you're going to get gold compensation for the tank and for the style if you have the style. You also get 90 days, 90 of Watt Premium account and
Wow.
2,500,000 credits. All right.
Can't moan at that, can you?
No.
And a garage slot as well.
And wait a minute, discuss on the forum. Oh, there it is. There's a link right there. All right, this was a little goofy. What I had to do, and I didn't investigate it too deeply because once I got it to work, you click on that, it takes you to a Verizon page, and then there's two choices. Is this gonna? Yeah, wireless or FiOS. So click. It's not intuitive. Click if you have the wireless with them. I don't know what FiOS is. If you have that, then you might click that. Click Have Wireless, and it will take you to the right place. You got to log in to the Verizon website. So if you don't have your Verizon account hooked up on the website yet, you might have to go through that rigmarole. But I do because I can manage my phones with it and all that good stuff. That's how you get there. All right.
This is for not NA but just USA, isn't it?
My assumption it's Verizon in the U.S. I don't know if Canada has Verizon, to be honest, and if it is,
Okay.
Fiber optic cable. Thank you, Randall. Appreciate it. I did not know that. So there you go. If you're a Verizon customer, it looks like either with fiber optic cable, if that's a ISP in your locality and you are a customer. I happen to have a cell phone with them, so I'm able to do the wireless piece, and you get all those goodies. There's nothing else really involved other than you just click that and then log in and grab it, and you got it.
You know what? The all said and done, that's massively brilliant deal, isn't it? Really, because at the end of the day, what Wargaming have done is, for the sake of you being signed up to a provider of some source of some, use that you use, they're giving you a free tank for it.
Well, yeah, but see here.
You can't moan at that, can you? Although
I'm curious which.
will moan.
I'm curious which way that deal is going, though. Is this? That's a lot of stuff. So I have to assume Verizon, but Verizon is so big. I don't know even though World of Tanks is a big game and a big company. I wonder which one came out better on that.
Yeah,
because they gave a lot of digital goods out with that. That's one of the biggest packages, so to speak, I've seen them do in one of these collaborations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, normally it's a skin and a commander or something like that,
Yeah,
isn't it? I mean, this is a tank with 90 days of premium. Apart from everything else that's with it, I just think it's amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
will it make people sign up to Verizon to get it, though? There's a question.
Well, of course, that's what they're counting on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, World of Tanks is counting on the collaboration to bring more interest from Verizon customers, and they have a shit ton. And of course, they're hoping that some Verizon customers come and play World of Tanks, and vice versa. They're hoping World of Tanks players will join Verizon.
Right. Well, on that very point, wouldn't it be interesting to see Verizon's website to see if they're advertising? Oh, by the way, if you play World of Tanks,
it is. It's on there.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. No, I don't think it. I don't know if it's splashed on the main page, but they have a variety of collaborations and things.
Oh, right.
Tie-ins, I guess, is the industry word. They have a variety of tie-ins and things like that.
Okay.
Okay. And World of Tanks is listed.
do that.
There's a World of Warships tie-in of some kind too that I haven't investigated.
All right.
So there may be a like deal for World of Warships, by the way. I would investigate that too. In fact, I might do that, but I haven't turned World of Warships on for months.
Fly Rascals in the house, sir. Good morning.
Hello. Okay, so Verizon match day's ongoing. How many wins you got now?
Do you know what? I haven't checked it for a couple of days. I think I'll go and have a look-see.
I'm at 12. I have 12 wins.
Really? You've got 12 wins?
Yeah.
What, just on the off-cuff guessing that you've done?
No, I know what's going on.
No, you don't.
Oh, heck yeah. I got Denmark over Wales. I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, that was pretty much a given, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Because, it's the Welsh.
I don't know why I picked Austria. For some reason, I picked Austria. I don't know why I picked Austria, but Italy beat them 2-1. I think Austria's a better team, aren't they?
Well, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how many have I got? How do I know how many?
Spilled my coffee on my keyboard once again.
Well, that's not good, is it?
Damn.
That's not good. I have to count them up. Why? How do you get your total? Why am I having to count them?
Yeah, I know it's idiotic. It doesn't just say your whatever. Go down to your progress, and look at the itsy bitsy tiny little numbers, and it'll tell you how far along you are.
the itsy bitsy tiny little.
Yeah, see that little tiny 12 that you can barely read.
You're at what, level 5?
Level 5.
Okay. I'm at level 6, which is what?
Oh wow, yeah. Well, I don't know. It's hard to tell how you get to that level. Is it 13 wins, 14, 15, 16, or 17 wins?
14 wins, isn't it? Level 6.
Oh, there's a bigger line, slightly more bold line.
They are.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the cut
We've learned
point.
something new today.
Yeah.
Oh right, level 6, whatever that means.
Excellent. You've got 14 wins then, basically, or 14 successful guesses that might not be wins.
Yeah.
Could be ties, although it's a win because your pick was a win for you.
Yeah, well, I got Denmark and Italy like you did. I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest, 'cause, you know.
Sorry, so I got the Czech Republic over Netherlands. That's probably not good, is it?
No, 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 no,
No.
no.
Okay, so
The Dutch are a football nation. They are
okay,
a soccer nation. Whoa, change
okay.
that.
And Portugal, Belgium. Who you got for that?
I got Portugal because the
Yeah.
the Portuguese have got people like. Remember, they used to have people like, if not Ronaldo, but
Yeah.
certainly those sort of
I
players.
got France over Switzerland. That seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's probably a good
I
bet.
got Spain over Croatia, but is this one a toss-up?
Yeah. Well, Spain have a lot of very good national players
Oh, we
at.
talked about that last week, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, Croatia is a bit of a dark horse. They can pull it out of the bag when they want to, but whether they do against Spain is a different
I
matter.
went with my heart in England versus Germany. I hope they beat Germany, but
It's going to be a struggle, isn't it?
yeah, we're gonna.
Boogie team of any tournament is Germany,
Yeah,
with the exception of once when we beat them
yeah.
in the World Cup in 1966.
But they're sort of, like you said, they're sort of diminished. Are
Yeah.
they? I don't know. We'll see. I picked England though. I went with the home team as far as I'm
Okay.
concerned.
Good man.
And
Good
then
man.
I got Ukraine. What do you think about that? Over Sweden?
Sweden are a dark horse. I mean, they're not known internationally for winning anything. But I think they can beat Ukraine purely because Ukraine are a non-entity when it comes to soccer.
All right,
In my personal opinion.
all right, I'm going to change that. No tickets. Oh, so when you change, it uses a ticket. All right. Here's what why I wanted to come here, guys. It's match day 2021 is what you want to do. I did not realize that if you want more tickets, it's only credits.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's oh, I don't want 6 of them. That's what I was just testing. So it's 35,000 credits a pick, and there are some decent stuff. There are some decent things to get. Some missions, some personal reserves. There's credit personal reserves, by the way. If you can get to level 7, you get 5 of those plus 50% for an hour. There's 3 days here, and then of course the last 2 are some styles, which I don't really care. In fact, it might be best just to try to get to the 3 days premium, and unless you really need some styles. I don't know if I'd spend a lot of credits trying to get here, but it's credits, so there you go, free stuff.
Yeah.
Free stuff. Trade-in is going on right now, guys. The vehicles you can trade in for, if you just want a quick list, you can obviously go to this article and click on it, and it will tell you. You can actually also see what the numbers will look like with this little tool right here. You pick so say I want to trade in my Lurva, and I want to get a KPZ. So it says you'll get 5,600. It's going to be half. More on that in just a second. I will need another 3,900 gold to get the KPZ. So your trade-in gives you half, and then you buy something else. The vehicles you can trade in there's a big list, right?
Well, you've got tiers 6, 7, and 8, haven't you? So they've included all 3 tiers.
Oh, here it is. There's a big list. These are all the things that can be traded in, 6, 7, and 8 premiums. The tanks you can get, you can click on this or just go to your tech tree. They are the tech tree premiums that are available. Those are the ones you can get. Break. If anything is on sale, your trade-in value will be reduced by that percentage. And if you buy one, I believe it will be reduced by that percentage. I don't know if there's any really discounts on premiums right now, but just watch for that. So that may change the calculus a little bit for you.
Yeah. Gold price may be affected by premium vehicle discounts.
Right.
So it's finding out what's got the discount, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
And I kind of looked around. I didn't notice anything with a discount. There may be some tanks here or there that have a discount, but just watch out for that. I have never done the trade-in. I just keep everything anyway. So, but it's out there if you want it.
Well, this is interesting. Crew on the trade-in vehicle automatically goes to the barracks. If there aren't enough free bunks in the barracks, the trade-in won't be possible. So you actually have to have enough bunks in the barracks to do the trade.
All right, there you
go. Which most of us probably have, but there's going to be some who don't.
Yeah. Yep. All right, I think that's it for mission specials. Let's take a quick look in the UI, but I don't think there's much anything else going on there. It helps to go to the right place. There we go. Oh, cool thing. There's extra points available for Battle Pass now. So when you finish the when you finish the, let's go over here. When you get the bonus mission, there's points for the bonus mission, and when you top off your special mission or whatever this is down here, you get 50 points. So that's cool.
That's useful. Yeah.
Yep, very useful. So 10, 15, and 20 for these three. This one is, I think, 25 for the bonus mission, and then 50 when you finally get through the completed missions piece. So that's good.
20, 30, 40, yeah.
Yep.
Oh no, that's quite a nice little learner, that, isn't it? Because basically daily missions, both standard and premium, you sort of just plod along and they happen, don't they? I don't focus on them at all. So that's quite a nice little bonus.
So the Silent Huntress thing is ongoing. What is this? Oh, what do we have to use for this? How have I not done this yet? Oh, there's only 4 tanks available for it. It's the rental tanks. Aha.
Right.
Did not know that. So it looks like if you want your vents rammer, wow. Make sure you do that, guys. That's a good deal. When is that? That's till July 20th. So you need, I didn't realize this, you need to drive one of these 4 tanks, and it's the rentals, I believe, for the Silent Hunters package. So if you have one of these 4503, Cannon Panzer 105, STA 2, or Type 62, drive those tanks. Is that for all of them the same thing? I believe it is, probably.
But is those equipments specific to those tanks, or can you put the equipment on?
No, that's just equipment. It's 3 pieces of equipment.
Just giving you 3 pieces of equipment.
Yeah, and all you need is 5,000. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's just 5,000 experience, so 15,000 total to get all of them. All right, didn't know that.
That's cheap as chips, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, so do that if you can, and you got to have the Silent Hunters bundle, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've done this part of it. That's just the missions for everything. The Sturb 103 is on track. We got Commander AF's mission, which is going to get you a... How do you say that? Cockade?
I have no idea because I can't see it because I haven't done the code yet.
No, it's not. I don't know. Okay, anyway. Coffee
Begins with a
was...
C.
Yeah. Coffee with cinnamon buns. Want salute.
Nice.
Here's the match day thing, how you get the points. One looks like 1 a day. Community hunting, Watts salute. The 50B is on track. Oh, this weekend, we didn't talk about it, but it's play your class right for a weekend. So instead of a month,
Yeah.
lots of extra experience and things. And then, of course, you get the diploma, you get a bunch of goodies. But that would be kind of that'd be a bit of a chore to get through in one weekend. Looks like I've done some of it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I only played 20 battles so far, and I've got 4 of the 16 done. So
There you go.
it is ticking along. I mean, 20 battles. There you go.
All right, and remember the experience is going to go on the tank that you tripped the mission for. So
Yeah.
there you have it. All right,
Have you
cool.
got the way to victory? Have you got the way to victory mission?
No, what is that?
I don't know. It's 25th of June to the 31st of July, and it's giving credit boosters and consumables.
How am I missing that?
Way to victory, part 1 and part 2.
Way to victory.
Yeah, WAY to victory, way to victory.
Did you click on something for that?
I don't know. I don't know. It's above play your class right for me, and below the on track AMX.
Okay, hold on. Maybe I just missed it. Player class right. Watt salute. 50B player class right. I don't have the way to victory.
Wow, I don't even know what it's for.
Anybody else have that? Any of you guys have that? The way to victory? What is that? And why do I not have it?
That's till the 31st of July. You've got to do, within 24 hours, you've got to complete the mission 5 times on both parts. But there's some really nice, credits. You've got a whole wodge of 50% bonus to credits.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay. Maybe somebody knows what that is, because I've no idea why I've got it.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Okay. So it's quite
Okay.
nice. There you
I
are.
think that's it for all that. Bundles, trade-in. That's Operation Bagration is the player class right thing. Verizon, we talked about the T122 or the 122 TM. All right, cool. So check this out, guys. Let's go to subjects du jour. How long do you think the average game is?
The average game.
Yeah.
I'll throw it out there. 6 minutes average.
Okay. Do you think they're longer or shorter than they have been?
A lot shorter. But with a caveat, there are some that go right to the end game, which is like always happened. But yeah, I feel like the games are over a lot quicker for one reason or another.
That's a good point. And there's certainly a question. There's two different things here. A, how long does the game last, period? And number two is, how long does it take for the game to be decided?
Yeah.
Right? And then
Yeah,
the
but
rest of
yeah,
it's just
if you're last man standing, or they've only got 3 tanks left and you've got 10,
yeah.
then it's pretty much a given, isn't it?
Yeah, Cliffy's probably seen this already, but so this is a spreadsheet that I got from Tragic, and I think it's 8th Hussars data, and I don't know how many games it is. It's 1,900 games, it looks like, based on what I'm seeing. So let me call this up for you so I can show it to you. Here it is.
So that's a fair sample size. Then,
Yeah,
1900.
so it seems reasonable, and he's got one from 2018, one from 2019, and 2020. So this is last year. Tragic Loss has 800 battles. Let's look at Tragic's, because hers are actually this year. Let's come down here, and this is over 800 battles. All right, she only calculated the time. We'll go back to what 8th Hussars has on the rest of it. But battles longer than 5 minutes, 88%. Average battle time, 7.29.
Right, okay.
7 minutes, 29 seconds. Battles longer than 5 minutes, 68%.
Yeah, again, that doesn't give specifics, does it not? You could say over 5 minutes, but it might be 5 minutes and 1 second, which is over 5 minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just a stat. It's 88% or more, and a lot of people will run around and say, "Well, most of my games last 3 minutes to 4 minutes." No, they don't.
No,
No, they don't. Now,
it's that way maybe, but
yes, correct. It may be that a good portion of those are decided, but now we have to come up with the criteria of what's decided, and that's going to be an endless argument on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and you could probably do some statistical analysis on the collapse rate and percentages of, when we get to this point in the battle, 95% are decided. I mean, there's so many ways to break that down.
Yeah, because you have to feed in all the big boy carry pants games that people have.
Sure, I mean, there's always outliers on all this, so that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. That argument could go on till the end of time.
Yeah.
Now, not necessarily. I mean, if you're an expert in statistics, you can come up with some solid guesses and a framework for how to decide when a battle is decided. And I think you could probably get a large portion of people to more or less agree with that formula for that. But the point of what I'm trying to say here is the battle length average is 7.29
Right.
for her
okay.
800 battles, and that's this year.
Okay, and that's 50% of thereabouts 50% of the total battle time per battle. So it's a 15-minute battle game set. So
Oh
what you're
yeah,
saying
yeah,
is-
it's half. Yeah, half.
See what I mean?
Yeah, right.
The average is just over, well, is half, if you like, near enough half of the total amount of time.
Yeah.
Given.
So if we go to 8th Hussars, and there's some more breakdown that he's done, I found some of this interesting. And again, this is 2020, but he's got same tier battles about 50%, 48.97.
Right.
Oh, sorry, top tier or same tier. I don't know why I didn't break that down.
Okay.
Top tier or same tier. There's no top. You could be one tier up. He has no one tier up. I'm assuming this is all piled in together. So you're either top, one tier up, or same tier, 48% of the time, which is
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah.
This could have a lot to do with his tiers and things, so we'll just leave it at that. But that, as a just big gross number, there you have it. -1 tier 38% of the time, and 2 tiers 14.17% of the time. This is one that can be quite skewed if you play a lot of 9s and 10s.
Yeah.
Again, this gets into all the various iterations of what you can do. But just as an interesting number, there it is.
It's to get a feeling for it, but without any specifics. So when people go, but I'm always bottom tier. Well, actually, you're probably not always bottom tier. It may just feel that way.
Yeah.
Because you remember the shit games.
And he breaks it out by what he's playing: SPG, heavy tank. Again, you can do this in a million iterations. Medium tank, light tank, TD. This is how many arty are in the match, and it's pretty consistent across the board. The 3 arty matches, so it's skewed because when you play arty, there is going to be an arty on the other side.
Yeah.
So he had 0 where there were no other arty on the other side.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming this is the other side's arty, which should match yours. See, it gets into a little wonky. But in any event, 3 arty matches 37% of the time. When he was playing a heavy tank, 16% or 18% of the time. When he was playing a medium tank, 20% of the time. He's playing a light tank at 25% of the time. There's some special matchmaking. No, I actually don't know if light tanks have special now. I don't think they do because you can have as many light tanks as you want in the game.
Yeah.
And then when he's playing when he's playing a TD, 16% of the time. This is a bit of an outlier. 25%. It's still a fairly low sample size, even at 1,800 battles. That one sort of jumped out at me as quite different. And of course, the 3 arty matches when he's playing arty are quite a bit more because he's already playing arty. So he only needs another 2 to make it 3. So that's going to be skewed high, I think, right there. But the point of it is your 3 arty matches look to be around 20% or so, maybe 1/5 of your games, just as a general guesstimate.
Yeah. And I'll give you something from yesterday. Very, very tiny sample size of 20 battles. I think I had 3 battles where there was no arty because it's significant. You remember it. So I had about 3 battles yesterday out of 20 that was no arty at all, which was fantastic because I had actually just grinded the mouse. And 2 of those 3 battles was mouse battles, and it meant I didn't get smacked by arty every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because an old mouse,
Now, here's the interesting part also, another interesting part, because I haven't mentioned 2 arty matches. So the amount of time that you have 2 or 3 approaches 50%.
Right. Okay.
On most of these. So 34 plus 18, 31 plus 20, 33 plus 25, 26 plus 6. You see what I'm saying? So and skewed high for arty because you're already bringing an arty in. You're sort of guaranteeing that you're going to have more arty matches when you're playing an arty because you're never going to have a 0 arty match. So the feeling that holy crap, a significant amount of the time I have multiple arties, 2 or more, was quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well,
that's very interesting because I think that bears out the feeling that most of us have got is that, and like I said about my very tiny sample size, the fact that there was no arty was so noticeable that it registered in my brain that, oh, crikey, that's the 3rd game I've had without arty. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, it wouldn't make an impact, would it?
Yeah.
So it just goes to show.
Cliffy, I can try to find. I have that somewhere. She actually posted it. We'll take a break here in a minute, and I'll try to find it, and I'll get you the link to that. Actually, Pig, how you doing? Welcome.
Pig's in the house.
Bitwise is here. Cliffy, Sly, all you guys. Appreciate everybody coming by. Can get the AMX 1357 for 20 with a coupon. I think so.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. That is probably one of the few premiums that's still worth getting with cash, just because of how fun it is. That means it's overpowered, but whatever.
I always load it up with everything try hard as well, just for the hell of it, to make it even better than what it is.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
I think the 432 is good as well, but I just think the 1357 is just such a unique little thing.
It's endgame. Where
the 432 is just overtuned, plain overtuned. The 1357 is overtuned, and it's quirky and fun.
Yeah. And very much endgame, isn't it? It's very much with that full clip, any half-dead tanks are just taken out
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah. All right, so let's. This is actually pretty cool. I found this. The Chieftain put a video out called "Chieftain Teaches the Characteristics of the Offense." I actually
Good.
highly recommend it. I'm going to put the link down in chat here. What's interesting with a lot of these kinds of videos where people talk about actual military SOP and things like that, tactics and all that, immediately you get the scoffs. It's a game that, these things have nothing to do with the game. To some extent, that's true. You can't just blindly copy paste some tactic you learned, at infantry basic into the game. But the concepts are exactly the same.
Yeah.
The question is, how do you apply it to a pixel tank game? But I actually liked this part right here because it cracked me up. It's something we talk about a lot. So I'll bring this up. This is on YouTube here. Let's see if we can get this to where everybody can hear it.
Sense of just how reliable those rewards are.
All right, here we go.
Tempo.
Tempo
is simple enough as well. Defined as the relative speed and rhythm of military operations over time with respect to the enemy. The real-world result is to overwhelm the enemy faster than they can react. You will have seen this effect in game. 1 second you look at the mini-map and everything seems to be going well, then all of a sudden you find that there's a swarm of enemy on your base faster than your team can plug the gap.
Yeah.
This seems to be the hardest of the four to affect in World of Tanks, mainly because most players just don't seem to understand it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to turn off my mic so it wouldn't echo. I know the first part was echoing. I apologize for that. But mainly because most players don't understand it.
Yeah. Well, you see, that immediately came to mind, that little bit where you were saying there. It immediately comes to mind because when you play as a platoon, you can have tempo because you're all doing the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
Where it's difficult to get tempo is when you've got 15 separate players all doing their own thing. And trying to coordinate that is a non-starter.
Yeah, the four things he talks about are concentration, surprise, tempo, and concentration, surprise, tempo. What was the other one?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch that now. Not now,
what was
but
the other
later.
one? Is it on there? No, he didn't list it. Surprise, tempo. Well, what is this? Audacity.
Okay.
Audacity, surprise, tempo, concentration of force. So concentration of force is shoot one guy with multiple guys, get rid of them.
Yeah.
That removes a gun. Then I can't remember what the principle is, but once you take an equal force of 15p15, you quickly remove 3 from one side, then it exponentially increases, and that's why you get this kind of snowball effect in this game.
Yeah.
Surprise, he has a good point here. Surprise is mostly attached to audacity in the game because the border is, that's the map. There's not a lot that you can do that will surprise the other side. It's not like you're going to go off the map and come around behind off the map or something.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So surprise is attached more to audacity. You surprise them by doing something unexpected, but audacity is kind of doing something unexpected. Yeah. So those are always really closely tied together anyway. But tempo is one we talk about a lot, and that has a lot to do with map control and understanding the flow of the matches in this game.
Yeah.
And not letting advantages dissipate by not doing anything with them. So you create an overmatch on a side, you keep the tempo up, you keep the pressure on. And his example is, you're playing along, it's 15v15, next thing you know, you look up, it's 7v15, and there's 5 guys on your cap. You're like, how in the hell did that happen? Well, the tempo on the other side was so much faster than your team. And then as you started to lose guys and get attrited, the tempo just picks up. And the trick then, of course, with good players is to notice that sooner and react to it if you can, to either stop it or to increase it if you're the one that is getting the advantage out of the tempo.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good video. I recommend everybody take a look at it.
Well, I did see it advertised. I didn't watch it, but I will watch it.
Yeah.
after this, probably later on this afternoon. Have a good look. Yeah, absolutely.
I think Chieftain does a really good job of talking about all those real world kind of concepts and
Yeah.
situations, and then parlaying or transferring it into the game, and how it does or doesn't kind of apply. The surprise thing is a great one. You know,
Yeah.
he made a great point. It's attached to Audacity. It's, you know, surprise is fairly limited in World of Tanks, but you can surprise the enemy team by doing something.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely, especially if you've got 2 or 3 teammates who come in with you. For example, if you take a heavy into what was, you know, the meta says is a medium area, all of a sudden the enemy who've sent their mediums there are going, oh no, there's 3 heavies there. Oh crikey! And then it becomes a surprise. Oh why, you know? But again, then you know you've then let down what is the heavy meta, if you like. So
Yeah.
there's always a balance to that.
Hey, Ace High, all I can say about that is the blind squirrel will occasionally trip over the nut and somehow grab it as it falls out of the tree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so every now and again I get something right. Oh, the acronym was CATS. All right, that's good. There you go. Concentration,
Oh, there you are, yeah,
audacity,
great. Yeah.
yep, tempo, and surprise. There you go.
Yeah.
CATS. CATS got all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
They can concentrate like crazy. They are audacious. They got a lot of tempo, and they will surprise your ass.
Now, I'll stop you now. I thought we were getting cultural then, and I've been let down again. I thought we were talking Cats, the musical, at the theatre, but you're talking Cats, real things, horrible, scratchy, smelly, furry covered things, aren't you?
I wonder if you could apply the Principals Award to Cats the musical.
Yes, you can.
They do fight, right? They get in there and they fight each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's worth a watch. Bringing culture to Guido's channel. There you go.
How did Cliffy get on Province?
I don't know. Where did that come from? Province is sucky. 5.
Oh, Pig has come in raging about maps again. I missed that. All right.
Oh yes, there we are.
Pig raged about Province, and then Cliffy took the bait.
Because basically he was talking about the 1357, and he
Right.
stops playing it now because he always gets Province as a map when he's playing
Yeah.
it.
All right, so we have a rumor of what the next well-deserved reward is, and it's going to be a pretty good segue, actually. So you just can't make this up, can you, Pilgrim?
No,
You can't.
can't.
How do they manage this? What is anyway? The well-deserved reward. The rumor is that it's the VK 2801 with the 10.5 centimeter derp.
Right, and they've just done the HE nerf. It's brilliant, isn't it? Because both parts don't talk to each other. Yeah. Hey ho. Did we expect anything different? No. Should we have expected anything different?
Wayne, timing is everything. Yes. Yeah. Well, at least it's not. At least it's not a premium, and there won't be people yelling for a refund.
No, true. Or will they? Somebody will. Somebody will just.
So
somebody won't be watching it.
last time with the Progetto, when they made a mechanics change, what was the mechanics change that made them just take a second off the Progettos? Oh, they took away the they took away the rammer.
Yeah.
They took the rammer away from the Italian tanks with the
But buff the reload time.
but buff the reload time. So why didn't they do something similar with the KV2?
See?
Because I guess there's no direct corollary. They took the rammer away, and then they gave that as the buff. The KV2 had a whole mechanic of HE taken away. KV2R is what I'm talking about, not the KV2. But you know what I'm talking about, the premium version of the KV2. And this is what they've hung their hat on as far as not offering refunds. I know there's still people clamoring about it. Did they actually buff the KV2?
Did they? What they should have done is buff the reload time because it's a less of a hard hitting shell. You want it.
I
down
missed
quick.
that. I didn't realize they buffed the KV2 for this whole thing.
No, I didn't. Is it
Okay.
the KV2 they buffed, not the KV2R?
Both. I think they did the same thing for both. Now that I remember.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It wasn't much though. I don't think it was much. Yeah.
Not enough to compensate for the abysmal HE changes.
I mean, you can still pin people in the side or hit weak spots and all that, but you are going to have a number of shots that do zilch,
Yeah.
which was something that virtually never happened before.
No, it was just a blatting machine, wasn't
Yeah,
it? Before.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
Now, I mean, I play? I think I might have played it when it first changed. I think I might have. Yeah, I did, and I did notice a slight difference. I did notice that. Well, they're talking about dispersion, and I actually missed more than a shot. That's probably me as a player than the mechanic. So,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The KV2 still works, but see,
Okay.
it's always the question. You know, when people say, "Oh, it's fine," or "It's better," what, or better than what, or fine compared to what? Compared to what it was, it's not. It just isn't. Can you still make it work? Yes, you can, but it is more difficult. And then the translation becomes, well, now you need more skill to do it. Oh, okay, well, you always needed more skill. You could always play the old version better and do better,
Yeah.
right? With the mechanics. There's nothing about the new mechanics that really makes it better.
No. And you're still seeing 2 tiers up. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So where before you had some opportunity to take damage from the higher tiers, I
Yeah.
feel now you're struggling to get damage off the higher tiers you're up against.
yeah. I don't think it was OP. I think it was maybe broken is a better word.
Yeah.
If it was OP, it would have been dominating. At same tier and lower tier, obviously, it just eliminating people. I never liked high alpha. I'm not defending high alpha. And this is kind of what I'm getting at. The problem wasn't the mechanic. The only problem with the mechanic, per se, was the weird critical hits when you shot a hatch and you killed, I don't know, somebody in the very back of the tank. But of course,
Yeah.
if you're angry about that mechanic, then you should be angry that you can delete a tank's entire hit points from a hatch,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I got it, I get it. It was kind of a goofy thing to have happen, but I don't think that necessarily made it a bad mechanic.
No, I think the mechanic. I think personally, I think the HE mechanic was pretty much okay. The only thing it had to do, in my opinion, was to take into account thicker armor more. That's all they had to do. If you've got thicker armor, perhaps reduce the amount of area that it could look for weak spots.
Well,
Maybe that.
yeah, but the way the mechanic worked, there was no way really to buff the armor.
Oh, okay.
Because it didn't really,
Yeah, yeah.
it could explode and it would find something. It was looking for the
Like
weakest
somewhere
armor.
getting in. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was looking for the weakest armor. So
Yeah.
I get it how those two didn't really go together. I think it was just an alpha problem. That's my issue. Nobody likes being deleted. I didn't like being deleted by Artie. I don't like being deleted by KV2s with some lucky shot that happened to penetrate some weak armor and do 900 to your tier 5 and take you out of the game. I think it's stupid. I don't like FVs. I don't like 4005s or 215 FV 215s, deleting people, tier 8s with one shot with Hesh. I think it's stupid. It's a bad game mechanic.
Yeah.
It's funny. I enjoy doing it. Of course I do. Everybody likes doing it. Nobody likes having it done to them.
No.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
But
I particularly don't like the Burt hitting me time after time. I was in the KV2. I'll tell you where it was. It was on that. I can't remember the map now, but it's anyway. It's a winter map. You go down from the North Spawn. You go down into the valley bit and so on. It's
Yeah.
a Himmelsdorf variant, whatever. Anyway, I was in a KV2 and I was getting hit by an FE403 by the bleeding bird every flipping 3 seconds. Wallop, wallop. And there's nowhere I could get because it's a mortar type artillery. Wallop, wallop. And basically, he just kept decreasing my hit points until I died.
well, that's going to happen in any slow tank, though. It doesn't have to be a KV2.
No.
Time will tell. The question will be, does the what happens to its stats over the next 6 months to a year? We'll find out. Maybe at the end of the day, it ends up doing more damage. Maybe people use more AP or more gold AP, or learn how to use the new HE mechanic better. You know, maybe aiming is the thing. Although it's kind of stupid because the KV2, even with the buffs, has terrible accuracy. But it's still a close-in brawler. You got to get close to your work if you want to hit, and especially if you're going to hit a weak spot with it. The whole, flank them, get to the side, all that kind of crap, noted. That, of course, you want to try to do that, but on the canalized maps, you can't do that really. A lot of times you have no choice.
Also, you don't have the maneuverability or speed
Yeah.
in that tank to be able to do that. You just can't.
But we'll see.
It's a fate all day long. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah, Pig, I think you're right. We've talked about that a lot. The RU community rules the roost, so everything done. Things that we may not understand, they either don't care about or they might feel the opposite of.
Yeah.
So, no, we haven't. Sly, in fact, that's where we are now. We're going into we're going to go into update 1.13, which you sort of touched on. But first, we're going to take a 5-minute break so I can get up and use the facilities. Let's recharge our coffees, my friends. Hold on, let's do a little transition. Watch this. Ooh.
Oh, magic.
Okay. So we're just going to leave this up, actually. I'll just mute everything, and we'll be back momentarily. So we're not just sitting there. All right, guys, we're back. I need a better plan for that whole transition, but that's all right. It's a work in progress, as always. So, yeah, Cliffy, exactly. Cliffy, my friend, yes. Thank you. I'm glad someone else feels that way, because this is exactly what I was going to talk about. One of my predictions with the new patch was that counter battery was back, baby. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. So one of them, the big one, which this is what I can't wrap my mind around it, but Cliffy's exactly right. And I was wondering if maybe it's my eyes, my particular settings, my rig. I don't know, but the tracers from the point of coming out of the barrel of the other Artie look the same.
Yeah.
I mean, am I wrong or am I wrong? I don't know.
No, I've noticed the only time it's bright and it's a clear indication if it's halfway through its travel. and if it's coming towards you or going over your head. The actual, when I've done arty and looked for
Yeah.
the for the counter shot, it's almost the same as what it was before.
I mean, it may be fractionally bigger. It may be fractionally bigger and brighter, but
Yeah.
it's not near enough
No.
to do like it used to be. If you're in top-down view looking somewhere else and you see that and you're doing the arty top-down and a shell goes by, you get a really nice
Yeah.
line, which is a pretty
Yeah,
good
yeah.
indicator of the direction. And if you're
Yeah.
in a tank and arty, it doesn't matter, but you're in the view where you're in the tank and looking at the horizon, you can see
Yeah.
general areas of where stuff's coming from pretty well. But once you
Yeah.
go top down over top of where it is, it's no easier, I think, anyway.
No, and they've put that 10-meter distance between where the shot looks as if it came from and actually where the artillery.
And that one I can't figure out either. I don't know. I used to be able to.
Forward or back?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it started at the end of the barrel,
No.
but it seems to be.
They put a 10-meter thing. If you watch the video, somebody's got that off to pat because I've been counted quite a few times, but I can't get the right distance in. From where I saw the shot came from, I've gone back 10 meters. It's
Yeah.
hit the ground.
One of you guys
And
was
then-
watching me do it, and it might have been Cliffy or it was somebody, and they're like, "No, dude, that was like 10. That was he shot from behind there." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's right where it started," which I thought was. So there you go. And then Pig's got the other part I wanted to talk about because the problem now is because they've nerfed repeatedly the damage and the splash. It's as low as it's ever been, even with we'll get to the shells in just a minute. But essentially, you need to hit. You have to almost do a direct hit.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
RNG. That's making the whole thing just another big dice roll as it was. So counter efficacy
That's the word.
is nowhere near what I had hoped it would be.
No.
So
It was a nice to have, but it's not happened.
so the shells, and I have a video coming out next week on this. The shells, in my opinion, are shit, double shit, and lol good luck. Shit, double shit, lol good luck. Look, I don't like the arty mechanic. I've said it a million times, but this is stupid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It doesn't
Yeah.
work. It's neutered an entire class. They didn't bother to change the missions. How lazy is that? What a low effort. I don't want to use expletives. What a low effort attempt at
It was
rebalancing.
very low effort. It was very unthought of, not thought through. Pretty much, they're going to say they spent a lot of time getting the detail right, which they did for their own means, for what they wanted. But what they didn't do is the wider picture. What they didn't do is include in the effects and the causality of the effects at all, right across the board. So they wanted to put this in because they wanted to do something about artillery to make it a more balanced gameplay. And the result is as expected, as they wanted. But the fallout from that, they never anticipated. They didn't look at in the detail.
Randall, I think they could have just. It might have even been a placebo, but at least it was an attempt. What I would have done is I would have taken all of the stun missions and reduced them by 10% just right off the bat, because there is going to be less stun.
Yeah.
Period. You decrease the stun, you decreased the splash. It doesn't take any kind of smarts to just go, let's just decrease it 10 and see. Then we'll do the numbers thing, as Cliffy was saying, and that of course is what they said. We need to get numbers before we change it. Look, I'm all about stats-driven changes, but when you ignore common sense and making an effort for the customer, and all you do is parrot some requirement for stats as the answer every time, that's horseshit.
Yeah.
You know, they're actually talking about removing the arty missions. That's one thing I've heard them talk about. I mean, I don't know, man.
Well, they're effectively going to negate a whole class of I'll call it tank. They're going to negate a whole class in the game if they don't have missions for it. If they're messing about with it as much as they are. I would not want to presume that they are backdooring this out of the game, but what they're doing is making it just a non-relevant piece of
Yeah.
people won't play. which is, okay, everybody who doesn't like Artie will go, hey, but there's a significant amount of players who like Artie, and that's good for them.
Well, that's my problem. That was one of Skill's ideas, Cliffy. And see, this is and we're getting it in chat. We got people who have good riddance. Who cares? Get rid of them. Blah blah blah. And then I know there's people watching who like Artie and play Artie, and there's a lot of reasons why you would like it or play it. My contention has always been make it more like the game. So
Yeah.
the counter thing, the counter thing needs to be better.
Yeah.
So you need a better tracer on that. And then when you take something away, you've got to give them something. This patch only took. It gave people all kinds of defensive measures. It took damage away, and then they attempted to sort of balance by giving some stuff back. The AP shell is useless.
Absolutely. You've got to be spot on to get anything out of that. I mean, M44 play. I changed to AP to test it out, fired the AP three times nowhere near the tank. And yet it was fully aimed in, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So AP is just a waste of time, effort, everything else you can do.
Yeah, I think at this point, because they're unwilling to actually try to balance Artie, eliminate to one or two. I find that also to be lazy. I don't like that as a solution to a problem, because it's not a solution, it's a Band-Aid. It doesn't address the actual vehicle's issues. But as I've said, the original sin of Artie is giving, in a PvP online game, is giving people virtually unaccountable damage dealing and effects on a game where they can't be countered.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, really, I think they could have got away with just giving people the detection and making the tracers brighter and leaving Artie as it was.
Yeah, they could have left the shells with the big splash, all the rest of it, that's fine.
Yeah.
They didn't have to mess about with the RTHE at all, it was fine.
The only
We got
possible...
used to it, that's the thing.
Yeah, the only possible buff is, and I this is in my video a little bit, I have used the AP shells to decent effect end game and close games where you have to go TD mode.
Okay.
And I've nuked some people with that, because in the last patch, the last nerf when we got the stun, it became very difficult to kill tanks end game that had any kind of hit points. You used to be able to just nuke things into oblivion. And a light tank or something with 50 hit points, yes, you could splash them, no problem. But somebody came at you with 300 or 400 hit points, you almost never killed them, unless they're very light skinned kind of thing.
That's a very good point. The game that I sent you in the Yagaru, it was me and the Conk facing each other. He blapped me first. Had it been the old shell, I would have probably died.
Yeah.
The fact that he only took, a couple of hundred HP off me meant I had the reload and got him.
Yeah.
So, that would have changed the game completely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I get shotgun too, Cliff, but it's usually a lighter skinned tank or a very low hit point tank at the end of the game. That's just, we have to be honest, that's more often the case that you get taken out. And now, if they're shooting one of the shells, you have a really good chance of surviving, especially if they're shooting the dismal stun shell at you. But the AP shell is better. Pig makes also a good point there. It is fairly low alpha. When you look at the alpha you're getting you're taking a huge risk to try to pin somebody, unless it's some kind of shotgun right in someone's face. And then you've got the bounce mechanics and all the other things going on. So, you're gonna get frustrated hitting a track or bouncing off a weird angle or whatever, despite the fact that you're coming downhill with a bunch of pen and flat plating a lot of armor and potentially going through tops and stuff. There's so many angles on things, and it's so inaccurate. It's not like you're going to pick out a hatch with an Artie. You're just roll the dice and see what happens. I
mean, it's the ultimate lobber shell game, isn't it? When you're in Artie, you don't have that mechanic, that ability to actually do anything more than aim at an area as opposed to a particular spot.
Yeah, so you loot box, you got AP pen by a 53, 55 for a whole 650. I mean, there's plenty of TDs that do a bunch more, and that was a pure RNG pen. That's the problem with the actual game mechanic, is it's just a shit show of randomness. I mean, it is. It's insane. That extra damage shell, which has a splash of a meter or whatever that it's not much. You look at it, go, ooh, I can do more damage, but good lord, I can't tell you how many times I've shot one of those and done 0.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's right there, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not advocating for the bad old days of Artie, but if you're gonna if you're going to, and this was part of the fix. I feel like they just sort of got half of it and don't really under. I say this a lot. They don't understand. Maybe I don't understand, but seems to me you make the damage less and you make the accuracy more, and then you make the counter battery more valid. So you've increased the accuracy of the shell, maybe even leave the splash fairly large, but the damage is lower.
Yeah.
Right? So that they're hitting for more like a regular tank. And you might have to change the reload, but I don't think I would. I would make Artie more accurate. I would make it the splash more or less what it was. I'd leave stun in, even though I don't really like it very much. But I would leave him with the long reload. The penalty for sitting on the red light and hiding in a bush is you don't do that much damage and you don't shoot very often, but you can hit and support the team.
Yeah, and absolutely that, and also have a better mechanic that indicates where you are for counter battery purposes. So you can't play the red line clicker. You have to move. You have to think about where you're firing from.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of times now, because of the patch came out, I started to play Artie a little bit more manoeuvrable when I've played the Artie just to test it out, because I thought I can't sit here for too long because they're gonna immediately know where I am. So I've got to move. So it forced the artillery to start playing the game, as opposed to just sitting in one spot and lobbing 10 shells onto heavy tanks stuck in a brawl area.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what they've done to Artie.
Yeah.
I think the problem with both those, now let's just connect them together, and we'll talk about the rest of the 1.13 because there was some cool stuff in there.
Was.
The problem with both of those is it is only player losing changes. You're only going to lose players from those changes. I don't think you're going to bring back a bunch of players who left because of Artie, and I don't even know if that's a thing. The idea that people are a one issue kind of person is kind of silly. There are certainly people who left because of Artie, and more than likely we all know one or two that said, screw it, I don't want to play this game because Artie irritates me. But it was probably more than just Artie if you really scratch the surface on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think a single issue would make anybody leave any game, to be honest.
And then the question is, do they come back?
Yeah.
Do they come back just because they did this to Artie? I don't know. I think certainly
I
you
think
lost.
if you've had the intention to move on from this game, you've moved on.
Yeah.
It's that sort of game because, and you'll hear this a lot, especially from some of the guys in chat who taken a break from the game 4 months down the line. They come back to it and they go, everything's changed.
Yeah.
Everything's so different than it used to be. So even if people did come back, they go, whoa, I don't particularly understand any of this. I don't like it even. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's certainly not a call that it's destroyed the game, but it has definitely changed it quite a bit. There's a lot of Artie being played right now, but we'll see how it shakes out. I think a lot of that is people testing it, as I have played quite a bit of Artie lately, trying to figure out the ins and outs, and are these shells useful, and what are the situations where the different shells are useful, or are they?
Yeah.
I have found the AP to be useful, or heat. Some of them have heat. End game for things like shotgunning, so that's been helpful for Artie. That turns it into more of a tank. You know, you're not doing the top down bomb a guy from the red line. You're moving around in a very lightly skinned, low hit point, derp cannon with a big AP shell. So at least you're sort of in the fray at that point.
I mean, I've done the same as you. I took the M44 out for a number of battles just to try all this out. First of all, I felt quite dirty at the end of it, but anyway, that's a different matter altogether. But I started looking at positions on the map that I've never looked at before to go and park up and lob a shell and then move to another position. It's made me look at the map as an artillery player, if you like, in a different light. I'm thinking, I wonder if I can go there. I'm looking at line of sight now. I'm looking to see if I've got line of sight. Although that puts me in a precarious position, is that I could get spotted any time. The fact is, line of sight is making so much more difference, and to get to those positions are not normally artillery positions. So, it's.
Well, and that's another thing we haven't touched on. The arcs have changed slightly, and the travel time. So some of that has helped a little bit. There's a little indicator on there that'll let you know what the flight time in seconds are. So that will change a little bit. Once people get a little better at figuring that out, it might make your AP shell slightly more accurate to understand some of that but you still have nothing was done to anybody's dispersion. So when you start talking things like a CGC, I mean, shooting an AP and a CGC, unless you're right next to him, is probably that's just a massive dice roll.
Yeah.
You know, you're rolling the 20-sided dice, and you need a 1, as opposed to rolling the 6-sided and needing a 1. You know?
Yeah, it's a big old dice roll.
Absolutely. Let's see, what else is going on with 1.13? Let me find the article for this thing. Someone said the sounds are annoying. There's also, is this a bug or is it meant? When you get hit, the sound mutes? It goes down?
Yeah,
is that to simulate, oh my gosh, I've been stunned?
Heading towards you,
yeah.
Before the shell lands, you know artillery's fired in your direction because the sound mutes down. Now that mutes also, this is something I found out yesterday, it also mutes if your teammate to the left of you or right of you is being targeted by Arty and he's fired the shell at you because you're within that zone. So you, even though it's not directed at you personally or may not be directed at you personally, you still hear the dumbing down of the sound. It goes.
No, I think that's only if you get stunned. I think
no, seriously, well, maybe I might be wrong actually, but the shell is on the way and it's coming into my area. The sound goes dead. Almost.
I think that's after you get hit, though. I think it's after you get hit.
I'm going to try this out after.
Yeah, I think it's attached to the stun mechanic, as they're saying. The notification you're talking about, I think, is the visual. They call it a sound notif, but it's a visual. It's got the dashed things, and that's the skill. That's the skill, and it says here it's coming from that direction.
Okay. Right.
Well, yes. So if your crew has that perk, maybe that's attached to it. It needs to. It needs to be tested. The skill makes the sound too. Okay, there you go. The skill also makes the sound.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
But the thing where it gets muted, where it's like half the volume, that's after you get hit to kind of simulate. You know, in movies when someone gets artied, then you get that. You know, that they can't hear anything. Yeah, they're like, oh, again, you know. Okay. Which I'm assuming is a thing, obviously, but
well, obviously,
I don't know if we need it in the game. Do we need it in the game? I don't know.
No.
Yeah, a little concussion action, absolutely.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan on the beach. That whole scene is that idea. You know, you hear the boom, and then people yelling, but it sounds far off because your ears are completely desensitized. They've been over stimulated.
Sparky's saying that the Verison sign up is without codes or ran out of codes or something.
Oh my gosh. Must have been popular, Sparky. Yeah, keep trying. There was a blurb in that said subject to code availability, so I don't know if Wargaming went, all right, you have 1,000 codes, 4,000, 10,000. That would not surprise me, actually. That would not surprise me. Because you know what you would do with that whole thing? Make yourself a new account.
Yeah.
Get yourself a T78 and 90 days of premium if you were looking to reroll. That's like the world's greatest invite code. Without an invite code, you just start the account up, then do that whole thing. Now, of course, you can't.
T78, yeah.
You can't do it multiple times because it's one per account. But if you're a Verizon customer, you're like, "Ooh, I want to reroll with a new account." Yeah, Slide's true. You have to be a Verizon customer in the U.S. Yep. So what else is going on in 1.3? Premium tanks rebalancing. I've played a couple of them. None of those were, I don't know, amazing.
There was a lot of gun handling buffs, wasn't there?
Yeah,
across the rain.
I will say the Kreslovsky is way better.
Oh, okay.
That buff has changed that tank considerably. It's so much more comfortable. It's 40 kilometers an hour now, so it moves around. It's got some extra horsepower. Gun dispersion on movement's better, and it's got 200 more hit points. I'm not going to say it's great, but it is now a decent heavy tank.
I remember you rolling out in it the other day. Yeah, and I think I was in 50 TP or something like that. And I noticed the fact that you were faster than me.
Yeah, I liked it. The IS-5 has more depression, so it's -7 now, not -5. That's usable. No longer does your gun pick up just because you go over a slight rock. So that's good.
Yeah.
I don't have a Chieftain T95. It got a lot of stuff. As did the T23E3. I don't have one of those. Although, no, that was like a reward tank of some kind. 121 Bravo buff is okay. Gun, it's faster, more agile. It's not really agile. It's faster. Makes it feel more agile. But it's also got a buff on the reload. And then the M60 got some armor buffs, which are not listed as to what they are.
I know. I've noticed a difference with that though. It's a more usable tank now. Although it wasn't that bad tank anyway, but
Yeah.
it's now a little bit more usable. I think we went out in an M60 platoon, didn't we?
Yeah.
At some point, and I think that was an interesting time.
M41 got a huge view range buff, 20 meters, which was very nice. The Senlac got a 10 meter up to 410, so both of those are up to 410. T92 got a slight gun buff with penetration up 14 and 20 for the primary and gold round, and then the ISU got a bunch of buffs actually. Mostly, the most important ones being, I think, the penetration, although it does have a little more engine power, and it added 10 shells. 10.
Well, it'll make all the world a difference. That will.
My
I'll tell you
Manticore
what
needs
I'm
5.
interested in. Well, yeah.
I'll take half that buff for the
Yeah.
Manticore.
Oh yeah.
Half that buff.
Absolutely. I mean, I hate the. I think there's that. I'm trying to think what the other ones are. Things like, I can understand things like the Death Star having a limited shell capacity, but I hate it when they do that to tanks. They put a really small shell capacity in there
Excuse me.
because there's times when you just need so much more, so much more.
Yeah. I do tend to run out, and you have to be cognizant. Sometimes you don't take shots in the Manticore.
Yeah.
Usually low percentage shots, but shots you would take in other tanks, simply because you don't have enough ammo to do it. I still enjoy playing it though.
I'd like. Do you know what? I'd like. They're doing the premiums, and I get that. I'd really like them to look at things like the T32 and stuff like that. I really, I feel sorry for it. I like that tank. It's the progression from the T29. And yet it's just gone years behind everything else now. Seriously, they need to look at individual tanks, not just premiums, but individual tech tree tanks. That's hard to say. Tech tree tanks, and look at whether they're viable in today's game and do something with it. I would love the T32 to be viable. I don't dare take it out anymore.
Well, this is a weird situation with the game. I mean, to go off on another tangent right here. The number of premiums is approaching, or is maybe already, I don't know, the number of tech tree tanks. There's a point at which you look at this game and go, what exactly is the purpose of the tech tree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
lot of these tanks that they sent out as premiums could have been part of various lines in the tech tree that they could have explored and added to the game. But they'd rather put them as premiums and sell them, which I get. That's one of the big ways they make money in the game. But we're getting this kind of overbalanced situation where the tech tree is irrelevant in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are the relevant tech tree tanks? There's some. I mean, you got the MALs, and that's always fun to play, and the IS-3 and the T-54 and some of these things. A lot of the tier 10s, because there's only a couple reward tanks that are good, but that number's increasing. The 907, the Chieftain, the 260, the 279 early, et cetera. But tier 10 is still kind of relevant. Tier 9, but even their reward tanks are starting to creep in that are better. The Concept 1B, the AE Phase 1. The question is, when you join the game now, yes, the tech tree seems to be the central focus, but once you move along a bit through it, it's no longer the central focus. So now we got this kind of weird, I got to buy a tank to be competitive thing, and that is bad for a game.
Well, it is. I mean, if you think back 3 or 4 years, premiums were purposely less, or probably more than 3 or 4 years, actually, 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Premiums were purposely less than the tech trees, purely because
Right.
Wargaming wanted people to do the grind, do the tech tree thing. But you're right. With the advent of all the game destroyers like the IS-3A and the Defender and so on, people are just going out there and putting dollars into the game, which is what Wargaming need to do to keep paying the wages, obviously. But
yeah, the Defender seems to be about where that completely changed.
yeah. Yeah.
And it may have been creeping in that direction, but as I'm trying to think back past the Defender, what I would say, you could probably point out a couple before the Defender that were clearly better, but I think the Defender really stuck that flag in the sand and said this is how it's going to be from now on, and that's how it's been. Now they've put out tanks that have been not as good. There's plenty of premiums that have come out that are not amazing, but they've all been slightly better or at least as good as the Tech Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be the Cromwell B. Yeah.
Well, would you agree with that? Personally, I think
I don't think so. The gun on the Cromwell B is such trash.
Yeah, I do like the Tech Tree Crommy more than the B. Yeah.
But for its time, you have to look
Yeah.
at the context of its time and the way the game was played then, and the other tanks that were out there. It probably was at the time, just simply on its maneuverability and ability to get around the game. That was such a vision control speed kind of game back then.
Yeah.
That the Cromwell B ended up. Plus, it made extra credits and extra crew, and extra experience. So what's not to like?
Yeah.
You're just not going to grind a line with it. You're going to grind all the goodies you need to grind the line with it. Yeah. I think that's it pretty much for 1.13. There's some other interface things. The map stuff that they added, I like the hit point bars on the top. I have turned off the little circles on the mini map. They cluttered up and I can't tell who's who in the zoo down there, so I've turned that off. I have it on Alt, which is actually the default. So if you really need to know visually, but I can look up at the thing up there and get a general idea of what I need. That's a mod that's been out for so long. They finally added it. It's really useful actually, because it catches your eye to start figuring out the hit point disparity. There's also the hit point totalizer, so that's a good thing to bring in. But the visual representation is a nice, quick, where are we now kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the other thing that it catches my eye on quite a bit is as you start to see chunks come off, especially early in the battle, and you're trying to get to positions and guys are getting hit, and you're like, oh, who's getting hit? Where is it? You may not notice that otherwise on the mini map, what's going on, but you start to see those percentages go down in that visual bar, and you can got to get a general idea of what's going on with your team.
I like the fact that if your tank numbers are lower than the enemy tank numbers, but the hit points are different, i.e. the enemy numbers hit points are lower, you feel like you got a chance, whereas you didn't know that before. You looked at the numbers and you went, they got 9, we've got 6. Ooh, we're losing. But actually, when you look at the hit point indicator, you've got more hit points than they have. There's a lot of near deads on the enemy team, so then you can go hunting. So it makes a whole difference.
Referencing the Chieftain's tempo discussion, that's a great tool for kind of watching the tempo thing. As you look at it, sometimes you look at it and go, oh, it's 7-6, but they have 2,000 or 3,000 more hit points. So you're like, holy cow, we got a lot of near deads, and that's when you see that kind of that game where it's 7-6. You're like, oh, everything's going good, and then you see over in the bottom right, you see 4 tanks die right in a row. You're like, ah.
Well, you don't even notice it. You look back at it and you go, where are they all gone? I mean, there's only 4 of us left. Oh dear. Zoom out mod. There's a good one.
The zoom out mod. I don't know why they did it like they did. It kind of annoys me, but it's fine. And you can select. So essentially what we came down to, and I've already forgotten the names. There's 2 of them. One of them gives you extra zoom out.
Yeah, that's tactical.
Why is that?
I don't know.
God.
You've got commanders which take you to that level, and then tactical that takes you to that level.
But it also shifts to straight down kind of idea.
You get like the arty view, the tactical view.
Yeah. And it has a slight pause, which is irritating.
Yeah. I've switched it off. I've got the commander's view on, but I've switched the tactical thing off.
I might do that because sometimes I roll into it and I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why the pause is there. And you can scroll one more time and it won't go, and you have to scroll a second time, at least the way mine is set up. I have the clicky scroll thing. So if you have smooth scroll, it's going to be just a distance traveled. But the clicky scroll, I can click one, I can get to that stop, click once, it won't go, and then click one more time and it'll pop up.
Yeah. But that's the thing, I'm exactly the same. But like you say, you roll the wheel and you don't realise, and the next thing you're in RT view and you're like, trying to get back down to where you were, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just don't need it. Yeah.
I'll keep looking at it. I mean, it's another tool. So I don't have any problem with SA gathering tools. Just got to figure out how to use it and whether it's really useful. If accidentally getting into it is a net negative, and not worth the trouble, then you would turn it off. But if you can train yourself to not jump into it incorrectly, and when you want it, it's there, then that's not bad at all. One thing
And I
that
think the point is with the zoom out mod is that now everybody's got it, whereas before it was possibly an Aslan mod, and it would give an unfair advantage to those.
Ooh, that's a
now
question.
everybody's got it.
That's a question. Are the mods for zoom out now illegal?
There you go.
Or can you still get their version of the mod? Because I liked the other version, the mod versions. I just wanted to zoom out further. That's all I wanted. I didn't want any clicky thing or anything weird. I just wanted to go out further. Pig says,
you can still get it. Yeah, as long as
which I suppose is fine, because at this point now it's not an unfair advantage. It's everyone can zoom out as far as they want, more or less.
Okay.
You know, the Aslan one, you could get quite out there though. Like you could get almost to where you could see the whole map. Yeah, you could be stratospheric on that one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But it's again this noticing which way the enemy's barrel's pointing behind a building type thing. Everybody's now got it, so it's I've used it. I used it yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm quite happy with that. I can go back out. Oh, look where his barrel is. Do you know? So yeah.
Well, yeah, it was never illegal, Cliffy, but it was always my contention that it should have been, because it was something that the vanilla didn't have. Now vanilla has a version of it, so who cares?
Right.
Everyone can do whatever they want at that point.
Yeah.
It's kind of like crosshairs, I guess. You can get all kinds of crosshairs because the game has crosshairs.
Yeah.
So it's not it's not a different functionality or an unfair advantage. It's just a different configuration for your crosshair until you start adding a lot of other stuff into it.
Yeah.
No HUD.
Well, there is
I should
that.
do a no HUD stream one day just for giggles.
Yeah. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? No mini map, nothing.
A no mini map stream would be really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also-
Just playing off your wits.
Translation: sucky.
Yeah. Your damage counter would look like that, wouldn't it?
Translation: sucky. All right, so that's all. Update 1.13. What else was changed? We got the camera stuff. We talked about the UI interface. Yeah. So there you go. The Arty shell time is in vanilla. So, so they sort of snuck in a nerf on the EBRs. I don't know if you guys noticed that, and somebody mentioned it earlier. They got a dispersion nerf. Is that right? I believe they got it. Yeah, I believe they got a dispersion nerf, and somebody said nerf them, but they're still. So I don't know if that really mattered or not. And that's right. And they got a HE pen nerf down to 175.
Yeah,
Down to
but they've still
175.
got the magic auto aim. So really, even with the dispersion nerf, even with pen nerf, you still got magic auto aim, haven't you? You've still got things in that no other tank has got.
Well, in theory, it's less accurate. We'll have to see if that in practice matters that much. I mean, there's an accuracy in this game at which it doesn't matter a whole bunch whether you're less than. Spitballing, it's probably 0.28 or so, somewhere in there. 0.26.
Well, you're not doing long range shots generally in a wheeled tank, are you? You're doing up close and personal. So I don't even see dispersion makes any difference. To be honest,
well, hopefully it stops some of those crazy cross the map shots those things can pull off. And that's what I'm saying. When you get your dispersion gets to like 0.28 or lower, somewhere in that regime. It feels to me like there's really no difference between 0.28 and 0.20. It just gets tight enough that you're basically as accurate as you're going to get in the game, and that's kind of where these things lived. But the HE change, it will be interesting to see if it changes how much effect it has on the wheel tanks. I didn't think about that because a lot of guys are running around blapping HE. Now the thing about a wheel tank is it's fast enough. They often shoot you in the side because they're zinging by you, and that will be an advantage. Plus, they can pen tracks now, so there's no tracks eating your HE shell, which is what happened once in a while. You got lucky and it hit the track and didn't hurt your tank, or the splash did very little. So now they can pen a track, even though they have slightly less pen, and they're the kind of tank that can get around you and behind you and to the side of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tracks will lower the pen, so you still have to get through and all that stuff. And there's the ×2, ×3, blah blah blah, all that good shit. But still, the point is you can, with enough pen in your AP, and if you're talking, or sorry, HE, you're talking 175.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, brain fart. It was lowered to 75, not 175. It was.
Was it? Right.
Yeah, it was 90, I
Yeah,
believe,
yeah.
and now it's 75. So that's actually a good chunk less. And when you start doing the modification times whatever it is, that'll have a hard time going through a lot of stuff.
I don't. Well, we're talking tier 10. We're talking the
Yeah.
EBR.
Well, they're all the premium EBR was already 75, I believe.
Yeah.
It lived at 75. The 8, 9, and 10 all had one. Sorry, I keep saying 175. They all had a 75 pin HE shell.
Right. Yeah.
Geo, how's it going, man?
Hey ho, Geo.
So we'll see. So that's one of those secondary or tertiary effects that we don't really know how it's going to go. And then here's the other one. I mentioned this in the video that's coming up. Going back to Artie real quick. One of the other things that's going to be hurt by this Artie nerf is scouts trying to get assist
Yeah.
for missions
Yeah.
and things. Because the fact is, I can't call it a fact. I think that Artie in general is going to do less damage.
Yeah.
I think their DPG is going to decrease off this. I don't know by how much. I get the sense that it's probably 10 to 25%, based on what just my 30 or 40 games running a Artie. I'm running about 10 to 25% less average DPG,
Right.
and that may be a lot of things other than the Artie nerf. We'll see. Maybe, like I said earlier, maybe people figure out how to continue to do the same amount of damage, but it seems to me that it's less.
Pig makes a good point, actually, is that a good scout won't rely on Artie. A good scout does line of sight. A good
Bollocks.
scout will.
That's bollocks. You rely on
You
both.
know-
You rely on both. If there's Artie in the game, then you're relying on Artie. You get a lot of damage off Artie and scouts. You just do.
Okay, here's a question then. When you play your scout, do you go out there to scout for Artie, or do you just scout for the team? And then-
It depends. I don't give a shit
question.
who's hitting them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So
I mean,
you-
if I've got a guy that's hiding somewhere, hold down that my line of sight guys can't get to, then yeah, I'm trying to light that dude up for Artie. If I'm hiding behind something and I've got someone proxy lit that Artie can hit, yeah, I'm scouting for. I don't care who hits them.
I actively avoid trying to, and this is just my gameplay, platooning up with Artie and a scout. I don't know if you can anyway. But also, I'd rather scout for line of sight. So if I've got TDs, I'll run with the TDs and give them the lights or the mediums or what have you. I don't particularly scout for Artie because it's
There's no
unreliable.
difference. You know, there's no difference.
Do you not think so?
No, you you don't care who hits them. You're lighting them up. As a
No, I
matter
don't
of
care who hits them, and I'll light them up. But I'm not.
if I'm surfing
going
if I'm
out
surfing the
right.
ridge on proc, there's no line of sight going to hit those guys.
No,
So I'll take all that Artie damage all day long, and then later in the game when we get rid of them and I dig down the 1-2 line, then heck yeah, let's do the line of sight guys.
Right. Okay.
You know what I
I
mean?
tend to get positions that are line of sight in a scout, as opposed to, and maybe that's the difference in gameplay is that I don't ridge surf that much because I'm probably not that good a light player. So I'd rather go and bush camp
Yeah,
in a not known bush and give line of sight spots.
I know, but the Artie's going to glom onto that.
Obviously they will do, but it's an unreliable mechanic as far as I'm concerned. Having Artie.
Yeah. But let's give an example. Let's give an example of proc on the 1-2 line. You've gone to the bush and you're passive scouting in your bush, and you've got 3 guys lit up down there, and your line of sight guys are hitting them, and you got 3 RD in the game. What do you think they're also doing? They're piling on the damage.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're piling on the damage because they can do that from anywhere on the map. So really, you're scouting for both. You'd love to get your line of sight guys involved, but as soon as you light someone up, already shooting lit shit, and that's
Well, that's the game. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. What I'm trying to say is I don't like, for example, tap in chat. Hey Artie, have a look at Alpha 1 because that's where I'm going to spot. Really, I couldn't care less. But I'd rather go to a position that gives my line of sight guys the shot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's how I play the scouts. And rightly or wrongly, everybody will get the spot. Of course he will, and Artie will then focus in on the first.
well. If Artie is doing less damage, like I think they are, and Artie is a portion of your assist, like it is, then you are going to on average get less assists
Yeah.
because one of
Gonna
the
get less.
things
That's
that you
for
are
sure.
getting
Yeah.
damage from does less damage. If Artie
Yeah.
turns out to not do less damage, it'll be a wash and won't matter. I think Artie will be doing less damage, therefore spotters will get less assist.
That's assist. Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it a lot? Is it even really going to be? I think it'll be noticeable. There's so much noise in the stats now; it's hard to tell. But my big assist games include Artie and line of sight guys just bombarding stuff.
Right, because damage is damage, isn't it? Yeah, no, I get that. I understand that.
Yeah. Scouts are for
Yeah.
padding win 8 nuts.
Yeah,
Scouts are for
they
scouts are for hanging out with the Artie.
Yeah, yeah. We were sitting in the back line with the Artie, just having a cup of tea.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do understand that, what you're saying, Guido. I do understand that if I light a tank, it's going to get hit by whatever it gets hit by. And therefore the assist that I get from that will be based on whatever the damage they do to it. And if Artie are getting nerfed, or have been nerfed, or don't do as much damage, then obviously I'm not going to get as much damage. But I don't...
Yeah.
In my head, I don't go out, oh, I better spot for Artie, get them going. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, I'm not really interested because they're unreliable as a, if you like, a teammate, because they will flip from one to the other. And, you know, if you get line of sight, for example, on Brock, if you get line of sight down the 1-2 line and you've got, you know, 4 or 5 TDs sat there, you're gonna cream all that damage back.
Well, Cliffy actually makes kind of a good point. It's still the same hit point pool. I suppose
Yes.
there could be an argument made that eventually somebody's going to shoot them, whether it's Artie or the TD, doesn't
Yeah.
really matter, and maybe you still end up with the spotting. But I feel like scouts get a lot of the Artie assist because
Right.
that's kind of how they operate. And when you get to late game, it's more the direct line of fire. So maybe you end up with that. But you know, late game, if you're going to have a huge spotting game, you probably also get some spotting late game where you rush into the campers and get them lit. But in general, on most maps, the late game is just face-to-face smashing and you're not getting assists. So maybe because the hit point pool is the same and somebody's going to do it, it may be a wash. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. The swings
So-
and roundabouts.
Yeah,
But
swings are roundabout.
I mean, I totally agree that if damage is less on one class of vehicle, then the assist is less. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. We got a contest from Pilgrim. I want to say one other thing though, and we're not going to get into it too much. But Crew 2.0 is raising its ugly head, coming back like a bad penny. Reworked. No information that I have anyway on what it looks like. But it's going to I keep saying super, not super test. It's going to Sandbox.
Yeah.
So if you got your Sandbox, you might be able to get a view of what Crew 2.0 is looking at. 2.1 exactly. We'll see. I don't know what they learned from the outcry.
It's ongoing, isn't it? It's ongoing.
I am going to speculate. It looks more or less the same. It's a tweak and not a change.
Somebody's baby.
Somebody's
We've said this
baby.
before.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. They've clipped its toenails. That's all they've done.
Well, I'll tell you what it won't be, which is what it should be, is just a streamlining of the crews to every one of them commander, gunner, driver, loader,
Yeah.
and reworking the skills and adding cool skills and perks. That's all they need to do. With the
No,
corresponding how to sort crews, you know, because you have tanks with different kind of crews and stuff. But it will probably be, I'm guessing, another one of these one commander, and all they're going to do is switch it around somehow to, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's a point, Cliffy. Because a lot of the field mods, you know, you've got the extra skill given to the commander and things like I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, like Randall said, it's been in the works for 3 years. You probably expect it to be another 3 years before you see it.
All right, what's your contest, man?
Competitions, right, for 500 gold. 500 gold. All 3 answers together in one answer. Right, and it's not rigged, by the way, Wayne. All 3 answers together in one shot, not one answer, then a few minutes later, another answer, please. So you need all 3 answers. It's all about Canada today. Good old Canada.
Canada.
Canada. It's all about Canada.
Excellent.
So get your Google fingers going for Canada.
Where is
All right,
Canada?
It's way north of where you are, my friend.
It's America's hat.
Indeedy. Yeah, it's keeping the bald head warm.
The 51st state.
Ooh, ooh. Wayne, you're not even close with that one. Cliffy's closer. Right, okay, here's the questions, guys. Get your fingers going.
Beaver, maple syrup, St. Lawrence River. That's close. That's close. Hey, left you.
Oh dear. Right, question one, or the first part of the question. Where in Canada did they build a UFO landing site?
Ooh.
I need the town and the state. Where
Okay.
in Canada did they build a UFO landing site? Because they believe in UFOs up there, don't they? Part two of the question. On average, how many donuts do Canadians eat annually? So how many donuts do Canadians eat?
Per capita or total?
Total. No,
Total.
per capita.
All right.
Total. Okay. So how many donuts do
Or per
Canadians
person,
eat
not
annually?
per capita, but per
Total. Yeah, yeah.
The total number of donuts a year.
A year eaten by Canadians.
Is there a
in Canada.
specific year?
Well, any year you like, because it's an average.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So on average, how many donuts do Canadians eat annually
Okay.
as a total? And then the third part of the question, who is Canada still at war with? Who is Canada still at war with? So there you go. The three parts of the question. I need the three parts answers in a one.
That's what I said
So-
before the stream, Cliffy. I said, so I'm gonna have to figure out how much those 1,000 people in Canada, how many donuts they eat a year. So you've increased them by fivefold from what I thought was up there. I don't know.
Crikey, yeah. I mean, that's an influx. Are we
Yeah.
sure we haven't got some? We're sure we haven't got some Alaskas included in that.
My apologies to my Canadian friends, all 8 of you.
Yeah,
Canada
bit
is at war. Yeah, they are still.
Yeah,
They're still technically at war with a country.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you the date they started the war, 1936, if that helps. And
Is there an actual
roll over,
declaration?
guys.
Did you look into it deeply? Is there actually a declaration on it?
There is an actual declaration of war between these two countries.
Was it initially actually violent?
No, I think it was passive. It's always been passive. but
Yeah.
It was ramped up at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting some answers through. Not right yet. Nobody's got a right one yet.
Ireland.
I know. Really?
Timbits, are those pieces of donuts from Timmy Hortons?
I don't know. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? You need to have all three parts of the answers in one go, guys. Bits by bits.
Timbits. Is that like a donut hole that we call? There you go. TDF's got
okay.
donut balls.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the middle of the donut.
We call them donut holes here, even though it's not exactly.
It's not a hole.
It's not a hole. Well, that's what we call them, donut holes. It's the bit that came out of the hole of the donut.
Okay. Well, we've got mints over here. Like
Well, that doesn't make
Okay.
any sense because nobody actually cuts that out of a donut.
Do they not?
You just
Are
don't
you
shape.
sure?
No, you don't shape them like that to begin with.
Are you sure?
I am 100% sure.
Since when have you been a chef, sir?
Although I suppose you could. I suppose you could do it that way if you're just using a cutter to cut out the middle hole and then toss that in as a little circular guy.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Could
wouldn't
be. That's not how they make them at Krispy Kreme, though.
it? Oh, crusty cream. Crusty cream.
Wayne said Krispy Kreme at the same time I said it. Delicious. Hot now. Hot now.
They are nice though, aren't they? Those.
Dude, there is nothing like a hot Krispy Kreme that just got cooked. It's like evil. It's like total sugar. It's just nothing but creamy sugar donut. Yum.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like you just sit there with it drooling down your chin, don't you? Just like. Oh dear. Right, there's no rollover, guys. I'm not doing 1,000 gold next week. It's 500 or nothing. If we don't get it.
Well, you got all week to get it, though.
Yeah, got all week. You can PM me or contact me via Discord or in game, whatever. Just let me know. So if nobody gets it in the next minute or so, then we'll let it run until next Sunday.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming
Cool.
by. If anybody's got any questions, like I said, we will be doing a stream tomorrow for Stack Up from 4 to 6 Central. I'll be streaming on Friday, probably standard, somewhere around 10 or 11 for 2 or 3 hours. Although I went about 5 last time. Oh,
Oh,
ooh, close,
close but not close enough, left shoe.
close. There was no declaration of war in Afghanistan.
No.
One of the problems. We weren't fighting Afghanistan. We were fighting the Taliban.
It was a peace. It was a peace thing.
Yep.
It was. It was a peace thing.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there probably should have been, so we can actually follow established international norms. But
Here you go. Meldeth. Meldeth, is it Meldeth? There you go. St.
Nice.
Paul, Alberta. There you go. 1 billion. And yes, they're still at war with Denmark. And how the war is played out is that there's an island in the Arctic, which is disputed territory between Canada and Denmark. And what they do once a year, the Canadians put a bottle of Canadian whiskey on the island to claim it, and then the Danes come along with a bottle of schnapps and they swap it over and claim it back again. And they do that once a year. So yeah, still at war.
don't they trade off years?
Well, they could do, I suppose.
I-
1 year it's Canadian, and the next year
Because it's not constant. I think they take the thing, they leave the thing, and then a year
Yeah.
later, or maybe the other guys come gather. I can't remember how it plays out, but
Yeah, they must take the schnapps and put the whiskey there, and then. In fact, when I used to drink Canadian whiskey, it was quite nice actually. But anyway,
well, that would make sense because schnapps and whiskey would is fine. It's not gonna spoil
Oh, yeah.
sitting there.
it's not going to spoil up there, is it? In the gold, so yeah.
The sailors drink it on the way home. Sly. It
Right,
is-
so we need in-game name and server that you play on, Meldeth. If you can let us know, you can whisper me if you want. Just let me know your in-game name and the server that you play on, and I'll get you 500 gold to you, mate.
Yeah, yeah. All right, cool, guys. Hey, I appreciate everybody coming by. Hopefully you like the little new format thing that we did right there. The good news with this is we can talk about all kinds of other things than wargaming, and when we're talking about tanks, we can bring up the stuff we need to bring up. But that way, I'm not using all their stuff for all of our shenanigans and random thoughts. So I think is a better way to do that.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant, mate.
Also, I
You've
sent
done-
Pilgrim over there.
Yeah. What a hash I made of that as well.
Yeah, I didn't want. Get out of here. Get out of here.
It's so hard being this fella's wingman, you know. He expects so much for so little, I tell you. He really does.
Standard officer.
That's standard officer, isn't it? You know.
Yep.
Crew chief, get that sorted. Oh, for crying out loud.
Thank you for
Finally got
what.
up and-
Thank you for what you do.
Brilliant.
That's it. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all coming by. That is everything from the left side of the Atlantic.
And it's everything from the correct side of the Atlantic.
Later, guys.